Welcome to the Grappling Grappling Rewind Podcast. Welcome to another week of the Grappling Rewind Podcast.
This week on the show, we're going to cover ACBJJ 10, Fight to Win Pro 60. We're going to talk about the end of the Hatsu basho in Japan, in Tokyo, Japan, as well as we're going to preview Fight to Win Pro 61, talk about some news, and give some shout-outs at the end.
Indeed, indeed.
So on to news.
Gordon Ryan, he's got a gi sponsor.
Hypnotic.
Cool.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, it's Hypnotic.
There's a lot of speculation as to why. There's some companies that apparently only offered him gis and merchandise, and apparently Hypnotic was like, yeah, we'll give you money and gis. So he went with them. So good for him. In other news, Sakuraba is going to fight Renzo in 1FC. Not necessarily grappling.
Not 100% grappling related, but raise your hand if anybody wanted to see this. That's what I thought.
I want to see it, Josh.
I mean, I'm going to watch it. Don't get me wrong.
I'm going to watch it.
Don't get me wrong.
But it's just like they fought in Pride 10.
Like, I'm going to have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to watch two guys that are like combined age of 342 in fight years compete. Sakuraba is pretty much brain dead now when it comes to fighting. I think if he gets punched once, he might die. And Renzo's
damn, Josh.
Look, I'm just being honest. I love Sakuraba.
I love him.
If anybody knows me and has trained with me or seen me, they know I have a Sakuraba tattoo on my leg. Straight up. Like, I love Sakuraba. One of the many reasons why I got into MMA and grappling is that guy. But I'm telling you, his ear's been kicked off. His head's been like caved in. He goes in held together with kinesio tape.
Yeah.
And hopefully they don't even punch each other. I hope it's just like a wrestling match.
It's like that match you had with, what was his name, Josh? Give me the name.
Frank Shamrock?
No. Him back in
versus Carlos Newton.
Yes, the Newton match. They don't.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Not with Renzo. I think
Renzo's going to try to beat the shit out of him, and that's the best idea. If I had to predict this match, I'm going to say Renzo wins by TKO because
I would agree.
I think if you fart too hard on Sakuraba, he will at least get concussed. So I love the guy, but
yeah, I've read some stuff from Japanese speakers that says he's actually slurring pretty bad now in Japanese. So it'll be, it's going to happen, and
everybody's going to watch it. It's just we're going to feel bad watching it.
Yeah, we don't usually cover MMA, but these guys are both grapply enough now that we thought we'd cover it.
They've always been grapply enough.
So Kasai is coming back up again. They just announced on the BJJ Brick podcast that they're going to have an event on April 14th, and it's going to be 185-pound division. So they are going to have their open tournament soon. Don't think they've announced in March for who their alternate's going to be. Yeah. Not alternate, who their
dark horse entrance.
Yeah.
Who last time was Junior Ocasio.
Who's now featured on EBI 15, the featherweight's coming up soon.
There you go. So, I mean, if you can get up to the area, they announced it was at one of Renzo's gyms. I don't think it was at the main gym. It was at the one in Brooklyn, right?
I think so. I think that's correct.
So if you can get to Renzo Gracie's gym in Brooklyn and you are in the 185-pound weight range, give it a shot. You might be able to, be on Flow Grappling, be watched by thousands of people.
Be on our podcast.
We'll definitely talk about you. Yeah, so go in and enter. I would if I had the time, but I don't, so I won't.
Yeah. In other news events, apparently Demi Lovato, who I've been told is a music singer, got promoted to Blue Belt.
Lie.
I did not. I had to ask Rachel. And Russell Peters, the funny comedian, I actually really like him, also got promoted to Blue Belt this weekend. So,
congrats to those two.
So that does it for news. On to ACBJJ 10. Josh, this is a fantastic card.
Fantastic.
I loved it. It was 7 hours of world-class jiu-jitsu that I got to watch over the course of like 3 days because 7 hours of jiu-jitsu is a lot of jiu-jitsu to watch in one sitting.
Yeah, and you can't fast forward it when it's live. So it was awesome, to say the least.
Where to start?
Exactly. here's the start. Here's some of the housekeeping on the stuff that's going on with their promotion. One, the ring announcer, not that bad. But when he starts saying really weird shit, and he's not a native English speaker, and I have no problem with that.
That's very obvious.
He says some shit, and you're like, what? He was saying it was just the best card. To paraphrase, it was the best jiu-jitsu card ever, period, in all of time.
I would agree with that, though.
It was good. It was really, really good. There could be better cards. I'm not going to say of all time it's going to be, but right now it started off this year. It started off January, and this year in general on fucking fire. So you have a lot to live up to. I'm hoping that they do something else relatively soon, and that card lives up to this. If it's even 80% of this card, I'd be happy.
Amazing. So a little housekeeping stuff for the show. We're going to go through some results for this event first, and then Josh and I are going to touch on some of the matches that we found interesting and some pieces and parts that we want to touch on, just because there is so much jiu-jitsu to cover this week.
There's just there's 17 matches.
And then there's Fight to Win Pro, and then there's Sumo. So we have a lot of stuff to get through this week on the show. So we're going to touch on the results for all the events, and then we're going to go into
just talking about some of the things. So, really quick. Mikey Musumeci defeated Rafael Barata. There we go. I don't know. I added a to it. By submission.
straight ankle lock.
Queixinho beat Nicholas Welker by omoplata. Thiago Sa defeated Josh Hinger by points.
And they actually had him do commentary after this match, which was kind of funny.
And he is really good on
Yeah,
commentary.
he was good on commentary. It was a little story timey at some places, but
It worked.
yeah, it worked very well. I'm very pleased with the commentary. I would love to see him on other events for any promotion, because speaks well and articulates his thoughts very well.
Yeah, Fight to Win. When you guys are in California all the time, if you can get him on there, get him on there. Let's see, where were we? Igor Silva defeated Kavacha by bow and arrow. Luan Carvalho defeated Marcelo Mafra by points. Gabriel Lucas, a.k.a. Baby Fedor, defeated Ricardo Evangelista by points. Lucas Rocha defeated Rodrigo Corporal by points. Hudson Mateus, here you go. This was one of the matches that we're definitely going to talk about. Defeated Braulio Estima by unanimous decision.
There was some weird stuff that happened in that match.
Fuckery was afoot. Yuri Samois defeated, here we go, Abdurrahman Bilarov by unanimous decision.
It was actually really, really good, Josh.
Thank you. Hamalo Bahal defeated Arnaldo Maidanov by cross choke. By the way, I don't understand why Braulio Estima kept calling him Romulo. That was really weird.
It was funny to listen to.
I mean, you're from Brazil. You come on.
There was some name fuckery during this card that made Josh and I laugh.
Main level name fuckery. And we definitely talked about it. It was hilarious. Patrick Gaudio defeated Claudio Calazans by points. Adam Wardzinski defeated Herbert Santos.
No, you see, he called him Herbert, not Herbert.
No, he called him Herbert and Herbert. Either way, that shit was funny.
We're going to talk about this match, too.
We're going to talk about that. That's one of those things. Lucas Lepre defeated Marcio Andre by bow and arrow. Leandro Low defeated Otavio Souza by points. Buchecha defeated Muhammad Ali by points. Paulo Miao defeated Augusto Mendez by points. And João Gabriel Rocha defeated Luis Ponza by points. Wow, that apple juice did not help with my speech.
Josh, I'm just saying, I read it online. It's got to be true.
Yeah.
So kicking off the card, we had Mikey Musumeci. And this is the first. I thought it was funny that you had your world champion on as the first match of the card.
Whatever. I'm not mad.
I'm not mad at it either. It's just funny.
That set the tone. He said, live up to this shit, motherfuckers. Live up to this. And, man, he had no issue. Of course, in ACB, if you pull guard, it's -2 points. Mikey pulled guard. And then he said, hey, guess what? Fuck you. And he footlocked Barata in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, literally the whole match was 30 seconds long, and he footlocked him.
He did that little reach under, he grabbed his own lapel, locked it out, belly down, and that was that. It was it so fast. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I loved it. He just came out, and that's the other thing is Mikey looks like the dorkiest of dork.
He finished that, and then he
first
kind
of
of
all,
like
he seems like the nicest dude in the world. I'm not
Oh,
calling
yeah.
him a dork to like be like, oh, what a piece of shit. No, he seems like the nicest kid in the world, and he's just so unassuming. Like, I feel bad for anybody. Like, if he were to be at a college campus, I know he does most of his classes online and everything. If he were to be at a college campus and at like a college party and some dude was like, "Sup, bro? Why are you trying to do this?" And he's like, "Hey, I'm just trying to have a good time." He'd be like, "I'm gonna fuck you up, bro." And he'd be like,
and he pulled guard.
"Yeah, I don't know about that." He'd be like, "What'd you say, bro?" And then he would fucking bolo him to his back and choke him unconscious. And the frat bro would shit his pants.
He put him in the recovery position, Josh. He seems like a nice guy.
He wouldn't even do that. He'd be walk away and be like, "Sorry, I ruined the party. I'll be going now. Bye." And then he would go train. Because that's what he would do. Because he's awesome. And you can hear my excitement of that was wild. And it was an awesome match. And it was a great way to...
It was the first match. It was the first match of a 17-fight card.
Oh, by the way, which started an hour late. We were in Brazil, so we were on Brazilian time.
Oh, yeah, hard.
So it started over an hour late. That was really funny as well. But what a great way to start the card. What a great way to start the card.
So that was the first match of the card. Now we're going to move on to the Igor Silva versus Rodrigo Kavacha.
What the fuck? A lot of things happened, and I was like, what is going on? Kavacha was like a perennial world championship contender.
Really top level guy. Like amazing.
He's a great competitor. He's known for his footlocks. He's known for his guard and his movability for being, flexibility, his agility, movability. I'll work with that.
I was going to say, I was like movability.
Movability
Josh.
works. He's light on his feet for a big guy. He's an ultra heavyweight. Igor Silva fucked him up.
To use a technical term.
He passed, he mounted, he got his back, and he tapped him out in the first round.
Yeah, that was impressive to me. Just the speed at which these guys both moved around, gets his back, finishes him all in the first. Because in case you don't know, ACBJJ has, it'll like MMA. You have 3 5-minute rounds, and so you finish your one round, and then you talk to your corner for 1 minute, you come back out, you start standing, and then you go again. So to finish guys in the first round in 5 minutes at a black belt level, damn.
Again, this whole thing, Micah Musumeci did it in 30 seconds. Igor Silva did it in 3 minutes. And to do it to Kavacha, who again was at one point before he was, the team manager of his team with Robert Drysdale, he trains and he's a teacher and all those other things, but he still competes. But this guy was always top 3 at the Worlds
for a long time.
It would be an easy bet to go, you know what? Kavacha is probably going to win or going to go fairly far in this. So it wasn't a huge upset, but it was just like one of those things where you were like, wow, that just happened. And that just happened. So hats off to Igor Silva. Good for him.
Really
Excellent
dominant performance.
Oh, yeah. So hopefully we're going to see him on more cards as well.
Moving on to the fuckery match, we had Hudson Mateus versus Braulio Estima.
Everybody and their mom thought Braulio Estima was going to win.
Including
that was
me.
A foregone conclusion.
Including me.
Well, everybody except for Hudson Mateus and Caio Terra and the people that train with him. Wow. I honestly hadn't heard of Hudson Mateus, but boy, oh boy, that shit just shocked me. It was refreshing. And Braulio just looked tired. He wasn't there fully. I don't know, something.
I mean, he went from commentating and then
he
left to warm up.
Right, but he left, warmed up, did his whole thing. I'm not using that as an excuse. He knew he had to compete. He knew he was commentating. it was just, you're like, okay, here's Braulio Estima, world champion, ADCC champion, like everything champion.
Hasn't competed a ton though.
Not recently.
Not recently. Yeah.
But still training, still teaching, still doing these things. You signed up to compete, right?
No, I agree. It was just a little odd to see him kind of come out the way he did.
Hudson, though, amazing balance. You know, it was hard to knock over. He was hard to do anything to. It was amazing. And that's a dark horse match right there. That you didn't expect him to win. The shit that he did, I'm so hype. I'm cussing so much. I'm glad we're on like the 18 plus kind of thing. Explicit.
I clicked the explicit button after the second episode. I was like, we curse far too much for me to not click that button. It's not the occasional curse word.
They're flowing free because goddamn, son of a bitch, motherfucker. That was an awesome match. But fuckery happened because the referees were not communicating well with each other, and they were letting outside influences happen really quick, and we'll touch on it a little bit later. Again, how you said before, they have sort of MMA style matches where, you know, it's 3 5-minute rounds. Somebody wins the round 10-9, so on, so forth. You know, maybe, or it'll be a draw. It'll be a 10-10 round if nobody got any points. 10-9 if you won it by 2 points. 10-8 if you have a gap of 10 points or more. So it was Hudson's round, the first round, a draw the second, and then the third, it came to, well, this is what happened. There was a whole lot of fuckery going on because nobody knew who got points and why.
Even I was confused. I was watching it and going, who's getting points?
So they gave Braulio points. He was coming up on a sweep. Okay, he should have gotten the 2 points. Fine. But Hudson then came on top, which would mean he got a sweep, which means it was tied up. So that makes it a draw. So you have 2 rounds, or you have 2 rounds of draw and 1 round going to Hudson. So by that, Hudson would win.
Correct.
Well, they said winner by points, Hudson, and then people were complaining, and they were yelling at everybody, and then it went back, and it's like, all right, it was a draw, it goes to decision, all these other things, and then winner by unanimous decision, Hudson.
So it was the same outcome, but Braulio was very upset at the points he was supposed to be awarded because that would have made the outcome the same, but under a different kind of section of the rules. The whole thing was a little odd, and I think there's an issue with how they, not how they score, how they judge. There's some sort of issue there that they need to coordinate and get everyone on the same page so that you know exactly
what's going on.
Yeah, what's going on is really, I think, the only way to put it. It was just a weird match that really shouldn't. You shouldn't have a question about who wins and for why. It shouldn't have happened. The rules are.
It should have been clear, and even if Braulio won the last match, it should have been like, okay, well, now we're going to go to a decision. Refs pick who you thought won. There you go.
It was all in all very confusing to watch and figure out. And I was in the middle of trying to explain this to people at my gym, because we were watching this at my gym, explain what was happening. And I was having a very hard time because even I was kind of confused as to exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
So that was that match. Not a bad match. Good match. Good to see Estima.
Just a lot of fuckery afoot. That was all.
Continuing with the fuckery, we had Adam Wardzinski versus Herbert Santos, or
a.k.a. Herbert Santos, or Herbert, according to Robert Drysdale,
the commentator for the event. I don't know why he called, like, his name starts with an E. Like, I don't know why you'd put him as Herbert Santos. You think
his name is Herbert now? Okay.
You think maybe his copy was wrong? What he had as the event, he was just saying it off the copy directly.
Could have been drunk. He could have been high. I don't know. He could have been anything. He could have been sleepy. Could have just been like, God damn, I've been here a long time. This guy's name is Herbert.
So Herbert Santos.
And I'm calling him that from now on, Herbert. No, this is what I'm going to do. When Herbert Santos is not in top form, he's Herbert Santos.
So for round 1, he was Herbert Santos.
Yes, and fucking deed he was. He beat the ever-loving shit out of Wardzinski.
He went up 10 points in 1 minute. on
yeah.
Wardzinski. It was amazing. Like Wardzinski would try to sit and sweep, and he would do like he would do that giant X pass, but when he throws his legs super far back and
He
up,
would
just go to side
fly
control
over him.
He would come to mount. He racked up 10 points in 1 minute on Adam Wardzinski, and then waited it out. He gets to round 10-8, and then round 2 comes out, and Herbert Santos emerges.
Herbert Santos showed up. Now, Herbert was trying to, call on his inner Herbert Santos, but Herbert wasn't having it. He started to go again. You're like, oh, here's going to be another runaway round. And Wardzinski was like, all right, I'm used to this craziness.
So he started to get the lassos involved, started to get the lapels involved, started to get his knees in there.
And he swept him, and you're like, sweet, he's going to come on top. Maybe we'll see some of Herbert's guard game, and we've seen it before, but, it's going to be more interesting than the first round.
Which was kind of a smashing, the first round.
And then Wardzinski passed to mount.
Directly.
And you're like, what? And then he climbs up like he's going to do something, and then Herbert tapped. Herbert was like, nah, I'm good. I'm done. And everybody was very confused as to what was going on.
So Josh and I had speculated the Euros last week that Herbert had some sort of injury because he gets tapped by Langler and
Langacker.
I was going to call him Langacker. And we can't see the angle that he gets tapped by. And I actually haven't been able to find an angle that actually is looking onto his face where you see him get triangled. And he taps very, very quickly. And the same thing sort of happened in this match. So I'm speculating, and we were kind of talking last week, that we think he has some sort of neck injury or something.
I'm saying ribs. I don't think it's neck. I think it's ribs.
Because when this match finished at ACBJJ, he gets up and he's playing with his hand. And he's like touching his hand. And he's pulling on his fingers on one of his hands.
Somewhere in his trunk area. I'm gonna bet it's anywhere from like his shoulders to his waist. I'm going to call that as an injury.
All right.
Because, yeah, he was messing with his hands, but also as soon as he climbed up into mount, because he had those double unders, he did that,
Yep.
came
and
up
he
with it.
pulled his hands up above his head.
Worked him up and then came off, and then he was like, all right, I'm done. Maybe it's a collarbone. Maybe it's a shoulder. Maybe it's a rotator cuff.
And I didn't think he'd pull out of this event because this is probably a huge payday for him because ACBJJ is rumored to pay pretty well, especially to get this amount of top guys on it. You're paying well to put all these names on these cards.
Yeah.
And I assume that he had a pretty substantial payday because he didn't pull out of open weight. He pulled out of his own weight class. So he showed up at Euros. Maybe so there's nothing wrong with him there. Then he comes to ACBJJ, makes weight, has a stellar first round, and then kind of just doesn't, I don't want to say quits, but just
Herbert showed up. That's all.
Yeah,
Herbert showed up.
And it was just weird. So it'll be interesting to see if something later comes out. Because I'm 99% sure he's got some sort of injury if he tapped to having one arm higher than his head. Because there's no submission there. Like Wardzinski,
it looked like he was going for an Ezekiel, but he just tapped. And he like sort of feigned the tap. It looked really weak, but
it was multiple taps.
There.
It wasn't Brazilian tap. He was on the back of his like thigh leg.
He just gently caressed his body a couple of times with the tap. It was a very sensual tap.
Damn, Josh.
Herbert's about them sensual taps.
So that happened. I think he's got some sort of injury. I think we'll see him probably be out for a while, and I think we'll see something in the next month or so with a surgery or
I think he's dumb enough
something.
to continue competing. I think Herbert is not a very smart person, and he's going to try to push Herbert to continue to compete, and you'll see Herbert a couple of times, and then Herbert will take over. So, calling it now, Herbert Santos is injured and also holding Herbert Santos hostage.
Moving on to the title fights, we had Joao Miao versus...
No, you didn't. You had Paulo Miao.
Other Miao.
Paulo.
Versus Augusto Mendez.
Which
Paulo
is funny.
Miao,
Which is funny because Drysdale called him Paulo Miao the entire match, called him Paulo Miao in the post-fight interview, and then near the end where he's like, hey, there's a matted area to where do you want to train later? He calls him Joao. And I was like, ooh.
I mean, they look kind of similar, Josh. Just saying.
Oh, hey, yeah, they're twins.
I mean, they look kind of similar.
That's fine, but
The
you've
ears
been
look
calling
different.
you've been calling him Paulo the entire time.
That is his name.
And then you're just like, Joao, do you want to train later? And he was just like, yeah, I guess so. Thanks for calling me Joao, you idiot.
So he was the current ACBJJ featherweight champion, and he retains.
We earlier this week filmed a video that never saw the light of day because it looked like garbage.
I forgot about that, Josh.
No, you didn't. You knew it was there. It looked like shit. We need to get better equipment. That'll be coming eventually. And I literally verbatim was like, his guard is too good, and Mendez isn't going to have anything for him, and he's going to lose.
Yeah, that's what you said. Mendez isn't going to have anything for it, and he's going to lose. I was like, Josh, think he subs him? You go, I think it's a 4th round. You said something, I think you said.
Yeah, I said he would choke him from the back in the 4th round. That didn't happen. It went all the way through and went to points. But still, Miao, who is probably significantly lighter than Mendez. I don't know if they look...
He didn't look bigger. He looked smaller. I would agree.
Well, I think Mendez is just much bigger than him in general. I know he had to cut more to get to featherweight when he competed there. But I don't even think he was in that featherweight range, to be honest, personally, when the match happened. But Miao doesn't care about those things. Neither of them do. And he just did what he did. He was there. He sweeps. He takes the back. He barambolos. He has no issue with just beating people up.
Yeah, by the 5th round, he knew he was up in the 5th round. It kind of just played out the 5th round.
Mendez couldn't pass his guard. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't mount an offensive at all to where you would think that, okay, maybe it's close. And mind you, this is a guy that was a featherweight world champion. He beat, Rafael Mendez.
Which is no small task.
And that was a really close match. He beat Cobrinha?
I don't remember, Josh.
Who did he beat?
He's beat some very, very
He either
good
beat
guys.
Cobrinha or he beat Mario Hayes. One of those two guys to go into the finals. There's a fairly famous picture of Mario Hayes and Cobrinha making a fucking holy shit face and sort of giggling when Rafa loses. And a lot of people were upset by that. People were like, y'all motherfuckers lost anyway. Why are you making faces? But anyway, that's off topic. He didn't have shit for him. Not a goddamn thing. And that was it. Good for Paulo, not Joao.
My bad, Josh.
He retains his title. Next title match. Luis Ponza versus
Yao Rocha. Hocha?
João Gabriel.
Hocha.
How is his name Yao?
Josh, spelling and pronunciation are not things that I'm good at.
I just said Joao.
And I forgot, Josh.
Like a meow.
And I forgot, Josh.
João Gabriel Rocha. Versus Ponza. Ponza was the champion. Rocha became the champion. Ponza known for his footlocks, also known for that nasty foot break at the Abu Dhabi Grand Slam years ago. That shit was gross. But Rocha started out early with Seonagi, scored really quick, and just went after it. Ponza, was just trying to work, but couldn't get anything going. Just trying to work, trying to go, and Rocha just on it the entire time. There wasn't much more to it than João Gabriel was just ahead. Just that tiny bit ahead.
I think that's the best way to put it, Josh. I mean, it was a very, very good match, but you saw João Gabriel the entire time was just a little bit ahead, kind of at every interface and every transition, he would just be a little ahead. Every scramble, he'd be a little ahead. In all of those places where you could have a shift in momentum and a shift in offense, Rocha was just ahead a little bit. And that seemed to be kind of like the whole match. And by 3 rounds in, that was the story. And you only had 2 rounds left, and Ponza,
I mean, he had to go for it hard in the last match, but
last round.
Yeah, the last round, excuse me. He could have gotten it with a toe hold at the end, but Rocha just, like every single black belt, they don't tap to footlocks, no matter what, especially when it's getting later into the match.
Especially if they're Brazilian.
Yeah, I mean, they just say, I'm not doing it. Forget it. I can keep my title, maybe get more money because of it. I don't know. I don't know their specific payouts or anything like that. But he couldn't finish it, so João Gabriel takes the title.
On points.
So I know we didn't go through every single match, and there were some other matches that were equally fucking awesome. Leandro Low versus Otavio Souza.
Marcos Almeida versus Muhammad Ali.
You know, Patrick Gaudio versus Claudio Calazans. At one point, it looked like Patrick Gaudio speared Claudio Calazans, but it was just a really, it was a failed guard pull to pass. But again, we're trying something new where we're not going to go too deep into it and try to bore the shit out of you. If you don't like it, let us know. I mean, we're not doing this to just, you know, verbally jerk each other off.
A little bit.
You know, we wanted to create something that, you know, people are very interested in, that there was a hole in the BJJ podcast community. There wasn't really like going over results kind of thing. And Maine and I are pretty interested in that kind of stuff, you know, analytics, things like that. And we're just trying different things. If you don't like it, let us know. We'll change it. If you think it's good, say, hey, keep doing up, you know, keep up the good work. Things like that. And yes, we're doing good work. Fuck you. So again, watch it. It's on YouTube. It's free. It's not hard to find. Literally type in ACBJJ 10. It's there. It's 7 hours. Watch a few minutes of it. Watch 1 or 2 matches, and then, you know, put it on pause and come back to it later. You're not going to be bored. You're going to see a lot of interesting jiu-jitsu. You're going to see a different rule set from IBJJF.
Than really any other tournament.
Or, you know, EBI or anything like that. It's very interesting. You know, you'll get the explanation of the rules. You'll hear some interesting commentary goofs. You know, you get to start picking things up and seeing who's good at talking about jiu-jitsu, who's good at explaining jiu-jitsu, who should not be near a microphone, who shouldn't be competing, who you think should be refs or not. So all those different kind of things. So yeah, watch the card. Hopefully the next one is just as good, if not better.
Because this one was amazing.
Amazing. Looking forward to it.
Josh, I would say it's fantastic.
Phantasmagorical.
So that does it for our coverage of ACBJJ. Now moving on to Fight to Win Pro 60 in Reno, Nevada. The card paid out $28,834 and had a 37% submission rate.
Real low.
Yeah, it's the lowest one I've seen in a...
So far, since we've been keeping track of those and since essentially they've been posting the submission rate. But there were 2 twisters on the card. How about that? 2.
Out of your 11 submissions, you had 2 twister finishes, which is probably the highest percentage twister finishes in a pro card ever. I don't even think an EBI has had that many twisters.
Probably not. I mean, it's only 18% of your submissions of the 11, but still.
That's fucking crazy. Almost 20% of your submissions on the card were twisters.
Well, 20, yeah, I guess.
That's crazy, Josh.
That's cool.
20% were twisters.
It would have been kind of funny if there were like 9 out of the 11 submissions were twisters. It'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, who is competing against 10 Planet guys constantly?
Eddie Bravo had a giant erection.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it was a twister match. It was a twister submission in the purple belts. And then Seth Daniels wins his black belt no-gi debut via twister. And
well, yes and no.
Verbal tap, technically.
Yes and no, because he put it in, he set it up, he talked to him and was like, bro, I got this. And it's not his first twister in Fight to Win either. But he's like, I got this. Are you sure you want me to, you know, fuck your shit up? Or are you good? He's like, I tap. So I would say it was more of a verbal submission than it was a twister. I'm going to take it away. There's only one twister. And then there was a attempted twister.
I think that's fucking wrong. I think if you set up a twister,
I mean, it was a twister.
You need to look at the guy's face and you go, do you want me to put you out for 2 weeks? He's going to go, nah, I'm cool, man. And Seth Daniels actually commented on the video on Facebook, and somebody asked him, what did you say to him? And he says, I got it. Do you want me to finish it? And he said, tap.
Dude, I wish he would have said something super creepy. Like, if he just would have started whispering goodbye horses to him or started singing some fucking creepy song to him. That would have been extra funny. But in general, he's a super cool dude. On the 2 occasions that I've been around him, he's been extra friendly. He loves jiu-jitsu.
Great promoter.
He's a great promoter. He's trying to help jiu-jitsu out. He's trying to pay everybody. Good on him. You know, I'm just going to pretend that he's got some sort of mean streak in him to where he's going to do some wild shit, like, you know, sing the Mickey Mouse Club song to him while he's twistering somebody. But in reality, he's like the sweetest dude. And he's very open about all the things that he does. I remember on the first Fight to Win card that I competed on, he was apologizing on Facebook because it was starting late because some of their screens fell down. Like that big Titantron-esque thing that's in the back as everybody walks in. Some of those screens fell down. And he was like, sorry for starting this late because this is happening and we have to reconfigure. He could have all just went like, look, it's starting later. Too bad. But he explained it. He was like, this is what's going on. We're trying to finish this up. Anyway, let's get into some results.
So starting off the night with the purple belts, we had Kelvin Basquiat. Oh, man.
Biscasan.
Defeats Clinton Wench.
By Casson. By submission. I'm just trying to figure out this guy's name.
Kneebar. Kyle Huempe versus Rodney Van Komen.
Decision.
Kim Principal versus Luis Alatorre. Josh, you're doing these now. I'm done, man.
Alatorre. By decision. Maine was just telling me that I was talking way more than he was, and I was talking over him, so I was letting him run. Fucked it up.
You get this next one, then.
Oh, thanks. Gurasahai Good defeats... Is that her name?
Nicole Johnson?
No, the other name. Gurasahai? Oh, God. I'm so sorry to anybody we destroy your name. Anyway.
It was fight of the night for the purple belts.
She defeated Nicole Johnson by decision. It was fight of the night. Joseph McKay defeated Rodney Van Komen, who is probably... How is Rodney Van Komen... Did he compete twice? Did I completely miss that and see that he just jumped in for another person? Probably. Well, he was defeated by Twister. Tanner Ford defeats Christian Dietzel by heel hook. Submission of the night for the purple belts. Adam Christopher Johnson defeated Kyle Cobb by decision. Shannon Kitchen defeats David Talent by decision. That was the first full para jiu-jitsu match in Fight to Win Pro history.
I think David flew all the way up from Kentucky for that. I think he's a grappler out of Kentucky. But that was outstanding to watch them both, you know.
It's awesome. It's being showcased. Again, UAE does it.
Yep.
They have the whole para jiu-jitsu division. There are some disadvantages if you're going to compete when you are handicapped in some sort of way. You know, you don't have the use of your legs or an arm or something like that, and you have to compete against somebody that has use of all of their limbs. The fact that they found another person that wanted to do this and was all about it is fucking awesome.
It's awesome. It's amazing.
Again, it's showcasing something that a lot of people don't think about. They're like, oh, you know, handicapped people don't do jiu-jitsu. Fuck yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, they do. They want to do jiu-jitsu as much as you want to do jiu-jitsu. They want to be showcased as much as you want to be showcased. So the fact that they had these two gentlemen on here and they got them to compete and it was an awesome match was awesome.
There was a local Reno television station, I think Channel 2, that ran about a 2-minute bit on professional jiu-jitsu, Fight to Win Pro being in Reno, and that showcased these two guys, and they talked about this a little bit. So it got local coverage as well as, you know, coverage on Flow Grappling and everything else. So it was great. I was really happy to see that. Moving on, we had Sergio Orontes versus Tony Fontana.
He defeated him by decision. Timothy Bloomer defeated Brian Dye by decision. Clint Treadway defeated Rob Parks by decision. Carlos A. Madrid defeated Justin Baseman by decision. A fucking hyperlink is in my way when I'm trying to read. Son of a bitch. There we go. eBay Jukic defeated Juan Lopez by decision. But mind you, we're in the brown belt results now. Vince Barbosa defeated Joseph Cropshot.
We've seen Cropshot before.
Yes, we have. By split decision, fight of the night. Pedro Silva defeated Kaisar Sulabayev by split decision. Chris Robertson defeated Anthony Lazzarini by choke, submission of the night. Sean Labar defeated Chris Myers by knee bar. Lagarthan,
This is his Facebook name.
this is his Facebook name, so this is how they copied and posted
Life
it.
and twice as ugly. Defeats.
I am literally reading this and I'm like, why am I reading it this way? It's not spaced out, so it's larger than life and twice as ugly.
Oh, that's what it is.
But because he didn't space it out, trying to make it look like a name to Facebook so they wouldn't be like, hey, you need to put a real name on there.
It's larger than is one word.
Lagarther than.
His middle name is Life and his last name is twice as ugly, but there's no spaces. So
Oh, great.
we were trying to make the first word a name, and it wasn't working out well.
Lark. I like how I just noticed that.
Yeah.
Defeated Carl Sumanatufa by decision. Andrew Bowers defeated Kevin Thompson by choke. Frankie DiMartino defeated Art Vega by decision. Minor Jimenez Morales defeated Ryan Jennerjohn by toe hold. Chris Robertson defeats Byron Cragg by decision.
Now we're on to the black belts.
I'm telling you, sometimes these names get me, and I'm like, are these actually real names? And then I'm like, I can't be mad.
Because usually one or two every card is a Facebook name, or like somebody will have their gym name as their name on Facebook. If like a gym owner or a professor will have like, instead of them doing other stuff as Facebook as like Mike John, they're as like, Southside BJJ is their name on Facebook.
Yeah, and a lot of these are taken from Facebook, especially when Flow Grappling takes their sweet fucking time to put up results and videos.
But honestly, Seth Daniels always posts them usually like that night.
Like,
And,
15 minutes after the entire card, he's like, who won? Okay. And he just types this shit out really quick.
he tags everyone in.
Tags them all.
All the winners. He tags all the winners.
And then puts it all out there. And then 8 billion people comment like, yeah, Steve Wackenfusen. Good job for you, Steve Wackenfusen, for winning by leg Kimura.
And by the way, Steve Wackenfusen was not actually on this card.
No. Anyway, Art Espinoza defeats Rich Bethune. Again, another person that's been on a lot of cards for them by decision. Dom Hoskins defeats Jack Montgomery by decision. Fight of the night. Seth Daniels murks Josh Turner with a twister. Submission of the night.
This is up on Facebook. This is a good match to watch. This is a
Obviously.
fun match to watch just to see, again, Seth compete. He's the CEO. He just got his black belt, a fight to win. This is the dude that's making this all happen. Go watch him compete. Go watch him do terrible things to other people on the mat.
How funny would it be if he purposely set himself up with people that he could beat just to make himself look that much better?
I mean, I said
Because Flow Grappling, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Flow Grappling did post a tiny little highlight video of just a reminder that CEO of Fight to Win, Seth Daniels, is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, it was a video of him at Fight to Win doing cool stuff to people.
Beating the shit out of people. He did that calf crank from the twister position.
Yeah,
He's
we were at that
twisted
card.
People. Yep. He's twisted people before. I'm just saying it would be fucking... I don't think this is the case
not at
because
all.
he's lost to people as well. But I think it would be fucking hilarious if he was like, I know I can beat this motherfucker.
I mean, because I said that I think on our first card, because before I knew a lot about this movie, just started the podcast. I was talking about, wait, the promoter competed at the event. It's like, is that a conflict of interest? And then I watched him
Nah,
compete,
he
and I was
just
like,
compete.
I don't actually care at all.
No,
It's jujitsu.
no,
It's
he's-
jujitsu.
and
There's no match fixing.
He's lost. He's won. He has a very... He's high level in judo.
Oh yeah, that's evident.
It's evident.
We think he competed at, sorry, not competed, but trained at the
He did.
Yeah.
We don't think he did.
Olympic Training Center in Denver, because that's where he's from.
He was on the national team. Everything. These are from interviews that I've read and videos that I've seen of him that he's posted online.
Yeah.
So this is all.
I mean,
like,
he's been doing jiu-jitsu for 13 years. Like he's
probably
been around for a
doing
while.
Judo for longer. He does that really cool foot
James
sweep
Brown.
That Rick James.
I mean, I'm close, man.
Maybe. Anyway, I think he's a pretty rad dude in general. I'm just making bullshit speculation. I don't actually think that is the fact that he's setting up his own matches. Like, what do you gain from that? Absolutely nothing. It's just me being a dingleberry. Anyway, Shannon Callos defeated Sean Cox by armbar. Matt Tonkin defeated Daryl Liner by Darce. Kelly Anderson defeated Elliot Kelly by decision. Cassio Vernick, who is Marcos Torregrosa's teacher, defeated Jeff Messina by
armbar.
Well, hey, took a book out of Marcos's playbook, page out of his playbook. See, I can't even speak. But Maine called this one wrong. Marcos Torregrosa won by decision.
Right. For my credit, though, Marcos Torregrosa had been on Fight to Win 4 times in 2017, had 4 wins in a row at black belt by armbar. Statistically speaking, I took a wild guess and went, he's going to win again by armbar. And he decisioned him, Josh.
It was definitive that he won.
Oh, yeah. Took
It
us
was
back,
definitive
passed,
that he
did a lot
won.
of stuff.
I like that we're really just giving our thoughts on the matches while we're telling the results as well. We're just compressing all of it. That's fine. Like I said, new format, maybe, if you like it. If you don't, let us know. I hope I see him again. I hope he gets more arm bars.
I do too. I mean, he made events for them, and so we saw him weigh in with the Fight to Win shirt. You know you compete for a promotion a lot when you weigh in their gear.
Yeah. The weigh-in that I did for the Jersey one, Seth likes cat shirts and things with cats on them. So wear cat stuff. He'll get a kick out of it. I think I wore my cats and unicorn rainbow underwear.
Did. Yep, you did.
I did. I can't remember.
You
I just remember
really
my fat gut hanging over my underwear line. It's gross. He got a kick out of it. So, wear funny cat shirts. Again, the crowd looked pretty full. I can't say for sure. I don't know where it was.
It was in Reno.
The venue, not the actual place. Maine does this shit on purpose to get under my skin because he knows he does it. The same thing with the Taco Bell shit last week. This week he's like, well, here. They're like dad jokes where he's like, oh, it's like, why is the fridge running? One of those dumb jokes.
Yeah.
Like that. He does that shit to me to get under my skin. That's why his
Josh,
girlfriend also hates him because he does that.
Josh
shit.
beats the shit out of me in our gym on a regular basis. So when we're not training and I can make his life more difficult on this podcast, I use every opportunity I can.
The shit makes me anxious.
I know. That's why I do it.
It makes me anxious. It puts me on edge. I don't know why. It's ridiculous. I get worked up easily, I guess.
So that'll do it for Fight to Win Pro 60, and we're going to preview Fight to Win Pro 61 a little later in the show. On to Sumo, the Hatsu Basho, the first Basho of the 2018 year in Tokyo, Japan. Josh, it was a good one. There was some good showings.
There were some good showings. There was some shit going on. There were some bad showings. There were some dropouts.
You want to start with shit going on first?
Yeah. Kiseno Sato looked like shit and dropped out. Hakuho did not look good and dropped out. Kakuryu looked fucking amazing at first and then shit the bed down the stretch, but still finished at 11-4. But the real shit, the shit that was mind-blowing, you weren't 100% sure what was going on. He started off strong. Going up and through the first week, Tochi Noshin.
That's that Georgian guy, right? He's Georgian?
Yes, okay. Yes. So again, you don't have to be Japanese to compete in sumo.
But it does help.
It doesn't really help. You just have to find a stable that's going to train you. But holy shit.
Yeah, he had a hell of a basho. He went 14-1. His only loss this basho was to the Yokozuna.
Yeah. And it was a close match. And he had 2 or 3 close matches, but that was really it. He was dominant. And this is his first upper tournament Makuuchi win. His first Yusho in this division, which is a big deal. There's 33 guys right now in the top division. You all can't win one. There's only 6 of them a year. You all can't win one. And if you start losing and you get bumped out of the division or you get injured badly, you have to work your way back up. So the shit was wild. It was awesome. Tochinoshin, Georgian TV started shooting off these little clippets of him. It was a big deal. And it's a big deal for him, too. It's awesome.
And he looked good. Like he
looked great.
He just looked good. His only loss that I saw was to the Yokozuna, and he just had like a little issue with his like foot placement and turning on that match. He came out and he actually looked at the beginning of the match like really, really strong and like he was gonna, push him out. But it would
have been crazy if he would have won that match and ended up winning the thing and getting the Zensho Yusho, which is the undefeated mark, going 15-0. That would have been even crazier. He's definitely going to be bumped up. Komasubi or Sekiwaki, one of those two. His highest rank that he's held is Sekiwaki.
You think with one or two more good showings, he moved up to a Zeki?
Definitely. If he is consistent and stays with 10-plus wins and can stay uninjured, he can get up there. He can be another Ozeki. And if that continues, and especially with right now, I don't know what's going on with Hakuho. He could be injured. He could be on his way out. He could just be a one-off basho. But Kisei no Sato, I know he can beat. Kakuryu, I know he can beat. There is a good chance if he's up at Ozeki with Goedo, who's very hit or miss, and Takayasu, who this basho looked fucking amazing. Somebody online...
Yeah, he went 12-3 this basho.
Yeah, somebody online said that he was just like a swarm of bees in the shape of a human being, just like all this furious energy that was coming out. If he can go up and stay with him or potentially go up on him and beat him, and he keeps going like that, there's a possibility that if he stays on this winning streak or these winning ways, that he can make his way possibly into the Yokozuna rank, which would be the first Yokozuna from like a European country. You have your Mongolian Yokozunas with Kakuryu, with Hakuho, with Harumafuji, who just retired, with several, I'm blanking on his name right now. It'll come to me later and I'll text Maine and he'll call me an idiot for forgetting.
Akebono
is American. He's Hawaiian.
Oh, yeah, right.
So, again, and we've had an American Yokozuna. Not that great, but most of them have been Japanese. But he would be the first European... European...
Georgia's Europe. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Is it in the European part of the Russia area, or is it in the Asian part?
I mean, I just committed to...
Okay, we're going to say it. That's where it is. It's in Europe. Eastern Bloc.
Let's go Eastern Bloc. I know it's Eastern Bloc.
Yeah, we'll go with that. He would be the first one of that descent to reach that rank. And again, once you're there, the only way you can go is if you're forced to retire if you do something stupid like hit somebody with a karaoke remote. R.I.P. Harumafuji. He's not really dead, but he's gone.
Josh loves Harumafuji unless
you
you missed the last couple episodes of this show.
I fucking love him, and I'm upset that he's gone. Another big thing, and this will lead into my next little piece, Abi, who debuted, and Ryuden, who debuted in Makuuchi. They're both from Juryo. That's their first tournament at Makuuchi. Both finished at 10-5 at Maegashira 16 and Maegashira 14, respectively. That's a great fucking record.
Oh, yeah.
For your debut in the top division. Amazing.
That's really good.
So, special prizes were handed out, of course. The Sancho prizes for the Hatsubasho. Tochinoshin, no big surprise there. 2 awards. The Shukun show for outstanding performance. Duh. No shit, he had an outstanding performance. That guy was beast mode the entire tournament. So he wins that. He also won the Gino show, which is the technique prize. Everything looked good. He showed that he could slap. He showed that he could push. He showed that he could pull. He showed that he could lift.
Like all the techniques that you need that they're looking for this prize, he showed that he could do. His technique was good. He looked good. He looked solid. He looked like a guy that could, he could go all the way, Josh, to use a football term.
He could go all the way.
Yeah, that prize is very deserving for this, especially for this basho. He just looked good. The sumo was strong.
So Ryuden at Maegashira 16 with his 10-5 record got a Kanto Show Fighting Spirit award. So that was awesome. Again, you're making your debut in the top division, and you go 10-5.
That's outstanding.
That's outstanding. Also, who received a Kanto Show Fighting Spirit award, Abi, who again 10-5, debuting from Judio. The thing is, now that they had such a great record, that's going to bump up their rank. They're going to go way up the field. Abi, let's see. They might even bump him up as high as Maegashira 5.
Maybe.
No, when they have such good records, all these Maegashira rankings do is say who you're going to match up against. The higher you are, you're going to go against more experienced guys. You're going to hit the Yokozunas. You're going to hit, the Ozekis, the Sekiwakes. If not, you're staying in the lower ranks with guys closer to you. Ichinojo did that when he debuted 2 years ago. He was low in the rankings and just started running and was going undefeated. They're like, all right, is this going to be too easy for him where he might have a playoff with one of the Yokozuna with a 15-0 record because he hasn't faced any of these guys yet? They threw him up there and some of the guys, they just put him in his place and they're like, all right. And he did the next basho. They ranked him up really high, really quick. And he did this little thing, which I think was on purpose, where he would do a false start and would just like get in the mines really quick. And he got wins over really good guys because of that. Anyway, great basho to watch. If you haven't watched Sumo before, again, Kinta Mayama.
Jason's all sumo.
And in the suggested links, you'll see other channels that you can watch.
If you go to our YouTube page, if you go to our actual page, it is suggested other channels to view. Those are both listed and linked on there. So it's like BJJ BJJ Scout, A-Shire Grapplers listed on there. There's a bunch of things that we watch and we enjoy that are linked on that YouTube page for you to go take a look at if you're interested.
Yeah. So you can see these things. You can see what, I'm talking about. You can see what, Maine is getting more into it. I've been into it for quite some time. You can check out the Sherdog forums. They always do a thread every basho.
Reddit, our
sumo. People are talking about that all the time. You can catch news there. Maybe Japanese interviews, Georgian interviews because of Tochinoshin.
Yeah, a lot of times if they're on YouTube, you actually caption them and get YouTube to translate. Actually, Google to translate the words from whatever language the source language is into English captions, which is
poorly.
Awesome. It's a lot better now. It is actually usable now. In last year it was usable. It's great.
Yeah, it's still kind of screwed up. It's hit or miss still. And again, I'm looking at it and I see Tochinoshin and then there's Tochiozan. You might get those confused. They're two different people. You just got to look around. People that had a terrible basho, Teren no Fuji, he was injured. He left for a couple of matches and came back. He didn't win anything. Just drop a couple of ranks, get a surgery if you need to get it, come back strong, work your way back up, please. Because again, he looked like a beast when he was up at Ozeki, when he was at his peak. Onoshu, who got jumped up. Well. He got jumped up, but he didn't look great. Somebody that I don't care that looked bad because I'm not a huge fan of his, Kotusho Giku. Whatever. He's steadily dropping down the ranks, and that doesn't bother me in the least bit. Kaisei, the Brazilian sumo wrestler, decent. Started off strong and sort of fell off. Who else had a terrible, terrible, terrible time? Well, again, Hakuho and Kiseno Sato. Kiseno Sato has to look good. I hit the table. That's how much emphasis I need to be on this. He has to look good.
How many do you think they'll give him? before you forced to retire?
Next one.
You think this is his last go?
He has not had a full basho since his first one, and he's looked like shit or not showed up the rest of the time. So he has to look good.
What do you think, Josh? Let's make predictions now. Next basho's in 6 weeks, right? Or 8 weeks?
2 months from now, essentially. It's
Yeah,
going to be
about 2 months from now.
March.
Do
So,
you
maybe
think?
6 weeks,
Yeah. Do you think this next basho he will perform, or he will be forced to retire after that basho? What do you think?
I think he's going to show up. One, he has to show up. He has to. But he really needs to go into like his former Ozeki powerful destroying days, or he's done. And we're down to 2 Yokozuna. And
We don't need a Yokozuna. Remember that.
You don't, but you need the Ozeki. But, this was a big deal for Japan. This is, again, he was the first Japanese Yokozuna in almost 20 years.
19 and a half years.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, they pushed for it.
And he hasn't been Yokozuna that long.
No, he got promoted after only one Yusho.
Which they can do.
They can do that, and it's fine and dandy.
It's uncommon.
But
there was a little bit of politics that got him into that position in the first place.
he's Japanese. I mean, they could have got it. They put the 2 thing in so they wouldn't have like this field of 18 different Mongolian Yokozunas. They're kind of racist against everybody that isn't Japanese.
Might have to get this out.
No.
All right, making sure.
They're very pro-Japanese. They made rules that you could only have X amount of foreigners in each sumo stable.
Okay.
All these things. Like they're making it a point to trying to. It's Japan's national sport.
They're trying to keep it somewhat Japanese still.
Yeah, I mean, and they might be moving away from it, but some of the stuff is very outdated and very, I don't know, just kind of ridiculous. I don't like it. I think it's kind of weird, but they also don't want to have like stables overrun by Mongolians, Georgians, Czechs, Brazilians, whoever, Canadians, Egyptians, whoever.
Americans.
Not a whole lot of American sumo wrestlers that are serious about being pro sumo wrestlers. There's quite a few that are amateur, and you can find that stuff on YouTube as well. USA Sumo, it's amateur sumo. But I don't think people want to risk whatever their comfortable lives in America to go over and have a hard life. And like it's
in
rough
a Japanese
being,
sumo stable.
It's rough being a sumo wrestler. You got to learn the language. You know when you start, you're the bottom of the totem pole. So you eat last.
Clean. You cook the
clean.
food.
You do all this other shit. You have to get big. You have to eat a lot, even if you don't feel like eating. You got to nap to help put on the weight after all the eating. You got to figure out how to make chanko nabe, sumo stew. You got to eat a lot of rice.
It's delicious.
You have to train a lot. You have to do ridiculous training. The training is not friendly. It's like there's terrible hazing. They force you to do splits so you can, have that flexibility. Rigorous hours. It's mind numb. If you watch some of the training, you're like, I wouldn't want to do that. And I don't think there are a lot of Americans that want to do that. I mean, even there was Brody Stevens, I think his name was, Canadian, was a amateur sumo champion and went over to his stables and started training. And, grown out the hair, the whole thing was going through and just couldn't get going. And I guess couldn't keep up with that lifestyle. And one day he posted on Instagram and he had a haircut and you were like, well, he's done. It's rough. You got to really commit and want to make money and want to do these things to do this. I'm done ranting. So again, check it out. Kenta Miyama was gone, but ended up still uploading some things. So you can catch it all on there. Jason's All Sumo channel.
If you have NHK America, you can get the highlights on that as well.
You can get that. Abima TV, which had them all. Black Mawashi has a WordPress. Tai Chi has a blog spot. Our Sumo, Sherdog, anywhere you can find sumo, news, sumodb.sumogames.de. That's a website. I use it frequently. It's on the screen right now that has the whole ranking going on. But again, those are your things. You can Twitter us, you can Instagram us and ask about these things. You can Facebook us, whatever, if you want to learn more about sumo. But that wraps up this basho. I can't wait for March. Hopefully cool shit happens, which it should. And any news that comes out about it, you'll be sure to hear about it here on the Grappling Rewind.
So that'll do it for sumo and the happenings of last week. Now we're on to the previews, and it's a pretty light week, Josh, to use your terminology.
Yes, it's a light week. If we miss anything, like we missed ACBJJ previewing it, I don't know how we missed it. We were just out of it. It was the fucking Taco Bell. I blame the Taco Bell.
I can tell you what it was. I thought it was the same the weekend after Polaris. Why I thought that, I have absolutely no idea.
Because there's 8 billion cards coming up, and we thought it was near EBI or whatever it was, but it wasn't. So if we ever miss anything and you hear it, and, hey, you guys missed it, or we'll put out a YouTube video or a little Instagram thing that says, hey, we missed this. This is what we think is going to happen. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, our goal here is to cover jiu-jitsu and to cover professional jiu-jitsu and big matchups and the sport.
Professional grappling.
So if you see anything that we miss and you think we should cover it, let us know and we will cover it because that is what we do.
Tell us. We want to be interactive with you. If you're like, hey, my name's Jim Bob, and in Oklahoma there's this huge Oklahoma card, and Rafael Lovato and Justin Rader and all these other people are on it. It's not being this, but can you, shout it out? Fuck yeah, we can.
Yeah, like last week, I watched Ultimate Mat Warriors 3, which is, I think, something that one of the Martinez brothers puts on. It's an EBI rules. It seems like an EBI feeder league. We saw Jesselray Childre win that, and there's a bunch of other matches. We watched it. We didn't cover it, but Josh and I watch these things even if we don't cover it. So if there's something that you're on and you want us to mention it and shout it out and cover it, let us know because
we'll do it.
We're part of the community.
Well, we are not above that. I mean, I'm shouting out US Grappling right now. I'll be competing there February 3rd and reffing. If you're on the East Coast and you hear this, say, hey, what's up to me? I am the bald, bearded guy.
With all the weird tattoos.
I don't have a lot of weird tattoos. I have like 2 weird tattoos.
Josh, you have a tattoo of barf.
Who doesn't like Spaceballs?
No, one of you're saying like in a tattoo.
That's not a weird tattoo. That's an awesome tattoo. I have a tattoo of Majin Buu. That might be a little weird. I have a show-year-old tramp stamp. That was a mistake.
I like that tattoo.
That's fucking hilarious.
It is hilarious,
If
Josh.
you see me, you've seen it pop up. I am not ashamed to admit it. It's not a long story, but one I don't like talking about. I'm an idiot. We'll just leave it at that. I'm eventually getting
that comes
it covered
across
up
on this podcast.
Here's a shout out to my friend Ryan Clark, who does tattoos, who will be covering that up eventually when we line things up and I'm not poor as fuck. Anyway.
On to Fight to Win Pro 61 in Garden Grove, California, February 3rd, 2018.
We're going to say it's in like San Diego or Sacramento 6 or 7 times.
Yeah, probably.
Main event, 220-pound black belt gi match. Joao Assis from Electric Jiu-Jitsu, I guess he opened his own school, versus Antonio Braga Neto from Gordo Jiu-Jitsu, who I haven't seen for a while. Last time I saw him, he was fighting MMA at 185.
My question is Joao, is he usually at 220?
Yeah, he's a bigger dude, like
okay.
205, 220, around that.
Okay, I don't know why I had him as a little bigger than that.
Yeah, so he's there. Super heavyweight-ish.
Yeah. Next match is Josh's favorite grappler.
My hands-down favorite.
AJ Agazarm versus Chai.
Sirasuit.
10 Planet guy.
It's a no-gi 155-pound black belt match.
Now, I'm guessing that Chai is going to be a Nathan Orchard black belt.
He could be from the 10th Planet Freaks.
Because Nathan Orchard just choked AJ, and he seems to have an ongoing beef with 10 Planet, as many jiu-jitsu people do. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
I will pee in my pants if he loses. Okay? As a promise. Even if I have to force myself to do it, I'll piss myself.
Different levels of guys, but we'll see. I foresee AJ getting the decision on this one.
Who knows? Anyway, moving on to a 185-pound black belt Masters gi title match.
This is the first, I think, for Fight to Win. I've not seen a Masters title match before for Fight to Win. So.
I think they announced. I haven't seen anything listed as Masters before.
No, this is the first time I've seen it listed as a Masters match.
I wonder if
specifically.
They're branching out more.
Now, my question is, what do they consider Masters now? Do you think it's 30 or you think it's 35?
I mean, if you're going by IBJJF standards, it's anything above 30.
Yeah, but these guys do heel hooks, Josh. So they're obviously
it's in the
not.
gi. They're not going to do heel hooks.
I mean, I'm saying if I had to win pro, it does.
You can't heel hook in the gi.
What?
Question me. Who competed there? Who went to the rules meeting?
I think
you cannot heel hook in the gi.
That's correct. Josh, what organization did you do that for super fights?
That would be the Good Fight Super Fights. Okay, they don't do those anymore.
They heel hook in the gi, though.
That saved my life because I blew out my knee in that match.
Good times.
Anyway, that is Thomas Cronin from Carlson Gracie versus Mark Vives from New Breed Academy.
We've seen him before. We've seen him recently.
We've seen him quite a few times. I trained with him long ago when I was a blue belt. Really cool dude. Looking forward to that match. I think it's going to be pretty fun.
And the match before that is another Black Belt Masters lightweight title.
I'm guessing 55 then, roughly.
I assume lightweight. They didn't list it as at 155, but lightweight for them is 155.
Kleber Luciano from Kleber MMA versus Barrett Yoshida from Barrett Submissions. It's not even listed as if it's a gi or no gi match, so that'll also be kind of interesting to see.
Well, Yoshida does both.
Yeah.
So
does Kleber Luciano.
Well, and I'm just saying, like, it doesn't indicate to me one way or the other. Because
it doesn't,
Yoshida
but it'll be
does
interesting
both.
to see. I appreciate that it's West Coast still, so it starts later, so work won't get in the way of me watching this.
But it will end at 3 a.m. Potentially.
Or they could have 100% submission rate. Again, this is what I'm hoping for, 100% submission rate. Women's brown belt, no gi, welterweight title match. The fucking Big Bird, Brittany Elkins from the Compound versus Tara White from Carlson Gracie.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Brittany Elkin, she works for Fight to Win Pro. She's a brown belt.
You could see her in the corner with a camera.
Very tall lady. Also fights for Bellator.
She's also super awesome, very friendly. So
good grappler too.
I like again that they're putting the title matches above all the other stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Granted, it's a brown belt match. They're putting it up. That it makes sense. It's a title match. It should be up there. If it's a kids, even if it's a kids title match, it's a title match. It's for a belt. Damn it! Put it up at the top of the card. 245 bloke belt.
What was that?
That was me.
Bloke belt gi match. We have Ricardo Feliciora versus
what
William Wheel.
Don't you dare question my mispronunciation of black belt. When you say Feliciora, where is there an H?
Josh, it's a silent H.
Ricardo Feliciano. What the fuck? From Checkmat versus William Wheeler from Iron Will Jiu-Jitsu. Or as Maine would say, William Wheeler.
A wheel kick, Josh?
A wheel kick.
Wheel kick. So we have a 220 black belt gi match.
Are you going to say it or
no?
No,
I'm not, Josh.
Marcelo Lucena from Half Gracie's versus Donald Bailey from Carlson Gracie.
205 black belt gi match.
Albert Aguirre from Piranha Jiu-Jitsu versus Hector Tapia from Gracie Baja.
200-pound black belt gi match.
Rodrigo Atunes from Paragon versus Brian Clavesia. That's CSW and Brea Jiu-Jitsu, who I believe is Trumpet Dan. That's his jiu-jitsu school.
Who's CSW? CSW is Paulson, isn't it?
Yes, so he might train at both. So he's just repping both.
Yeah, and Paragon is Cooper's.
Bill Cooper and Jeff Glover and
Glover's.
Frangia. That's Frangia's school.
Right.
Technically an Alliance affiliate, but we're not really getting deep into it. Anyway.
Next time we have a 195 black belt gi match. Omar Saba from BTT versus David Kaluo Tribeca from Checkmat.
Dave Kuhio Tabankura from Checkmat.
Then we have a 185 black belt gi match. We have Brian Mendez from Habero Jiu-Jitsu versus Ryan Robertson.
Brian Robertson.
From Gracie Baja.
165 black belt gi match. Taliesin Suarez from Checkmat versus Kawanu. Oh, man. K Barboza from Carlson Gracie.
Then we go
Kauan.
Kauan. Sorry, guys. I don't know how to say that.
So bad, please.
155 black belt gi match. We have Jason Youssef from Carlson Gracie versus Jeff Nolasco from
Good job,
Tringera BJJ.
Triguero, the Triguero brothers.
I said Tingero.
Tinguinha.
Yo, there's so many black belts on this card. Next, we
Good.
have a 140 black belt gi match. Catherine Furrow, Parente, from Checkmat versus Aaron Hurl from Cabrina. We've seen both these when, I think, at Worlds or at Fight to Win.
We just
or
saw
at
Aaron
Kasai.
Hurl at Europeans.
Europeans, that's where it was.
Yeah.
And then the last black belt match of the card is a 140 black belt gi match. We have Alexis Fonseca, AOJ, versus Andre
Pontes
from
Hibero Jiu-Jitsu. We're going to keep rolling with them. 260-pound brown belt gi match. Denis Andhra versus PJ Montano from CSW. 195 no gi match. Wes Levine from 10th Planet versus Mustafa Saba from BTT. 185 brown belt gi match. Sid Scrobe from Checkmat versus Nick Spacek from Bonsai.
We saw Nick Spacek versus Tyler Coe, one of the guys that trained with the Dark Horse. We saw him. We saw Tyler Coe decision him a couple cards ago.
There you go. 170 brown belt gi match. Juan Adolfo Lopez from Brea Jiu-Jitsu versus Connor Donaldson from Gracie Baja. 155 brown belt gi match. Clifton Tashima from Sorino. Jesus, we are so bad at names. Versus Darby Faulkner from the UFC gym. It's so weird saying the UFC gym. 155-pound brown belt no-gi match. Abner Cifuentes from GF Team versus Jeremiah Vance, who we've seen before as well. Somewhere, can't remember at the moment. 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. Here's one of those weird weight classes. A 129-pound brown belt gi match. Nikki Sullivan from Atos versus Natalie Hibero from Checkmat. After that, you have your purple belt matches. You have
your teen matches.
You have
blue belt
one
matches.
teen match way down at the bottom. It's going to be a Cobrinha versus AOJ match. So, grudge match or whatever. It's going to be a good card. We're going to be able to watch 99% of it. I will probably turn it on at work, and hopefully we're not getting smashed so I can focus on that and work at the same time.
In quotes there, work.
Don't quote me. I can work real hard and watch Grappling. And then I get my coworkers to also watch it and ask me questions. And then I plug our podcast to them. They're like, yeah, we'll never listen to that.
All right.
So that wraps it up for our previews. Let's shout some people out because, hey, free press to other people that we like. So, Ayrshire Grappler, again, if I'm screwing up your name, please let me know. You can be like, hey, idiots, this is how you say it. Totally okay with that.
He put out a 2-part video with Craig Jones versus Leandro Low for the ADCCs. Good breakdown, fun to watch. Really went through exactly what Craig Jones did to defeat Leandro Low.
Andhra Low.
At the ADCCs this last year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Shout out to fucking Keenan Cornelius, the wizard. He saw the picture that Maine quickly photoshopped together because we're a ragtag podcast, and Maine texted me, fuck, we didn't put up a picture for a recording. What are we going to do? I was like, put fucking Keenan in a wizard hat and just post it and be like, here's this fucking wizard. And 45 seconds later, he's like, look at this awesome shit. And I'm expecting him in like Gandalf hat, and he puts him in Mickey Mouse's fucking Fantasia wizard hat. It blew my mind.
Just that OG wizard hat.
It blew my mind. Well, Keenan saw it and fucking put it on his story on Instagram or something, and we got somebody pointed that out to us. Shout out Jose. That was up there, so that's awesome. We think that we fangirled really. We were
Hard.
We got really excited. I was leaving training as that happened, and I was like, oh, weird. Some guy that is good at jiu-jitsu saw us in our terrible pictures. As you can hear, I'm really giddy about it. I just think it's fucking awesome that he actually saw it. I mean, we tagged him in it, but still pretty funny, pretty awesome. Also, we fancy now. We talked to a few people anyway on the East Coast for right now. And we got some sponsors. We got some people to be like, yeah, we'll help you out with some shit. So first, Yoga More. It's our yoga sponsor. Something that I do. It has been helping me recently. Helped me get through this leg injury that Maine actually caused.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's been stretching me out. It's Candace has been putting me through. I've been doing a lot of the beginner program because that's what I can make at the moment. But running me through it, getting me used to these positions. My downward dog's getting really good. I can almost do a full bend at the waist. You know, when I was fat, that wasn't possible anyway because my gut got in the way. But now that I'm not, I can almost do a complete forward fold.
Josh, you took the fat joke away from me.
Duh. Strike first. That's what you got to do. Cobra Kai. Strike first, strike hard. So again, Candace and Greg, who helped, that's Gamma, another one of our sponsors that we'll talk about another time. They have been helping us out, helping with, little bits and pieces there, starting to build this podcast into a glorious thing that it will become. So if you're ever on the East Coast, you're ever in Maryland, stop by Yoga More, give it a try. So that wraps up this week's episode of the Grappling Rewind podcast. Let it be known, I made it through our sponsor thing that was not written, that was off the top of my head, without saying fuck 75 times.
I was actually impressed the entire time. I was going to go, wait for it. He's going to mess it up.
Thanks for listening. As always, you can email us at thegrapplingrewind@gmail.com. You can check us out on Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, and pretty much anywhere you can find
Facebook
podcasts. We're on Facebook, Grappling Rewind.
Instagram,
Grappling Rewind.
Twitter,
Grappling Rewind.
Reach out to us on social media. If you got something you want us to cover, you want to clarify, we are here.
You want to tell us we're idiots. Hey, let us know.
You want us to pronounce your name correctly?
Let us know. Subscribe on the YouTube page. Leave us a review.
Helps us out a lot.
It helps us out. And, it eventually will help you out. We like to give back. We're doing this as something that isn't done. So help us help you. Again, as always, I'm Josh.
I'm Maine.
And this is the Grappling Rewind podcast.
We'll see you on the mats.